Welcome back to Solomon's Porch with your host, Jason.
Have you started?
We have officially began, sir.
Began, or is it begun? I think
We
it's begun.
are 11 seconds.
I think that we have
12,
begun.
13 seconds into this begotten process.
I get what you're saying now.
Oh, I just got a live now from Solomon's Porch.
There you go. Feel free to share it. Everybody, we have a guest with us this week. Welcome to the podcast, everybody who's watching, listening on podcast and video and all that good stuff.
And Shawn.
So we have a guest with us, Mr. Kevin Donovan. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are y'all?
Awesome.
Doing
So we're going to be
good.
talking to Kevin later about running for public office.
Yep.
So it'd be the first time having somebody on the show who has done that. And he's going to be running for Board of Education.
That's right.
There you go. Did you ever get Board of Education? We'll talk about that later. So we got a lot of stuff that's happened since the last episode. A lot of stuff, man. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I'd say some great stuff, some good stuff, and then not so good results of some good stuff.
I don't know. It all depends on your perspective. But
That's true.
We have a sponsor, though, don't
We do. Sponsor for the show, TrueStrengthApparel.com.
Yes.
Head over to TrueStrengthApparel.com. Check out Aaron Simpkins and his gear over there.
Yeah, man.
Good wintertime stuff. I tell you, man, he did actually the hat that I'm wearing.
Dad hat.
Yep, dad hat, my True Strength hat. I love the logo on the hat. It's just like nice, clean. Mm-hmm. But Black Friday, he had an incredible sale.
Yeah.
And he told me he lost money because he priced it too low.
Oh, no.
So shout out to Aaron for paying me to have a hat. I appreciate it, sir. Well, not really, but he lost money for me to have this hat. So, sir, thank you for your sacrifice. I appreciate it. So moving on to the news this week, Shawn and I played I played my very first disc golf tournament.
Yeah, it was our first disc golf tournament together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not my first, but that's okay. We'll call it a first. So.
Okay. It's like your rededication to the game.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. I got rebaptized. Yeah.
So, man, so how'd you feel, man? How'd it feel?
Before or after or during? Because there are definitely three distinct feelings between them.
At the end of the process, what was your overall feeling minus your physicality?
Oh, minus physicality?
I was physical, too.
Honestly, I just don't know anything else, to be honest. It hurts so bad. Actually still really positive. I was just grateful. If you've been listening to the show, you guys know that I've have struggled with weight for a long time anyway, but I've also had triple bypass surgery and recovery issues and COVID and all that other stuff. So being able to be physical enough to go out and play 2 rounds of disc golf in a day was really pretty huge for me. It took its toll, though, very greatly. I definitely bit off way more than I could chew with this. But I survived it, so that's definitely really awesome. My score, both rounds, I scored the exact same score. And if you were to translate that into a grade, I made a very high A both rounds.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, very high A. So, if you know anything about golf...
You don't want an A. You don't want an A.
don't want an
A.
A.
I actually texted 2 buddies of mine from work who play disc golf, and I told them, I said, dude, I was third from the highest score of the game. They were like, yeah, man, that's great, man. I knew you would do good. And I said, third highest.
I don't think that's the direction you want to go.
Yeah.
And then I sent them a photo of the scorecard, and we're like, that's funny. Well, at least you had fun, man. That's what I was there for, to have fun. It was cool, though. I'm actually going to try to play another one in January. And, yes, it's pretty awesome, man.
And it was a charity event to raise funds for the soup kitchen and the food bank there in Kinston. So, yeah, it was good stuff.
So, as a pastor, I like to make people, feel good spiritually, help them grow spiritually. I was there that day to make other people look great.
I made them look really awesome.
Just saying.
Everybody in every single category did better than me, so they had somebody to be able to look down to.
It was a sacrifice.
So Yeah, somebody had to do it, I
There you
guess.
go. We carried our cross. It felt like it at the end of the day. All right, let's move on.
I don't know that I'd go there, but yeah. Well, so sort of in that same vein, if we do have any fans of the show that are into disc golf, don't know if you've seen this yet or not, but the first ever disc golf convention is going to take place this upcoming year, February 15th through the 19th in Vegas. You may be familiar with the Vegas Open, and they're basically doing it in conjunction with that tournament. And so if you want some tips and tricks from the pros, they've got time with that. They've got vendors. They've got autographs, all sorts of crazy cool stuff. So you can actually Google that. It'll come up, Disc Golf Con.
So I'm pretty sure I'm going to travel all the way to Vegas. Actually, I'm not. I'm coming back from a cruise the day before that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be in Vegas, baby.
I would not. I would not.
And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So all my disc golf knowledge would stay there when I left.
Oh, that would be so horrible.
And so would the score.
Yeah, my score. As long as it stays there, I'm good.
Yeah, man. So No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah.
Man, that was a huge movie with a huge success.
But is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They did great. They did I think they were third highest theater weekend. It was either Friday release or weekend release.
Okay.
So yeah, they did great.
All right. Awesome.
So,
good for them.
You ready to share our thoughts on it?
Sure. Real quick. Yeah.
So just FYI, for me, in short, it is at least top 3 MCU films for me.
Well, see, now that's not what you told me initially. You said it was like probably the best.
There's still Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and Avengers.
Okay.
Those two still battle, but No Way Home is right there amongst those 3.
Okay. All right.
So, in short, it was fun. It was for the fans. Like, if you're a person who loves fan theories, this is the movie for you. There were so many things where I just clapped my hands to death because I was like, yes.
I'm sure glad I didn't go see it with you.
You should be.
You clap in the theater?
Oh, absolutely, man. Dude, in the first 5 minutes, a scene rolled up, and I was like, yes! And I was clapping my hands and throwing my hand like that right there. And throughout the film, because there were several moments where it was like just fan excitement moments where like people were like, whoa, yeah, all that kind of stuff, man.
So Matt really thought you were a freak then.
Oh, sure. He did. And I explained it to him. Like, after that first 5 minutes, your favorite scene of the film, I was like, dude, I could leave right now and be so happy. I'd be perfectly fine to leave right now.
I kind of wish I had. So, yeah.
He's lame. He is so lame.
But, I saw the commercial, right? And it's like, I feel like I saw the whole movie because you see they reveal who Spider-Man is. It's Peter Parker.
Right.
And then, like, there's so many, I guess, enemies or whatever have come out. And it's like, okay, well, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who he is.
And quite honestly, I would say you're pretty much nailed it on the head. The only thing is how they kind of wrap it up a little bit. But
are we doing spoilers?
I mean, I think it's fine. For me, the movie overall, it was good. Okay, I enjoyed watching it. I don't regret having gone to see it. It doesn't rank high enough for me to even want to buy the film when it comes out.
Gotta be
so
kidding me, bro.
There was only one scene that really got me excited. I even grabbed my daughter's arm because I was like, "What?" And that's when we get the reveal of
Matt
Murdock, who's Daredevil. And but he's
Netflix
actually Pete's.
Daredevil.
Yeah, Netflix is Daredevil. So epic there. And so the whole connection of that coming into the MCU excited me the most, to be honest with you. Everything else, I think that there was enough data out there that you kind of already had an idea as to what was going to be taking place. You just didn't know exactly how it was going to ramp up, and it was lame.
Well, I knew. No, I disagree thoroughly.
Dude, he healed all the bad guys.
He healed?
Yes, they healed all the bad guys. You get Spider-Mans from 2 other universes, which are from our other 2 Sony films or franchises, and they come in to help heal all of the bad guys from the other movies, and it's
a clean, essentially, at the end of the movie, it's a clean slate. They can
Start it all
continue
over.
if they want to,
blah.
and they are going to. They've already said they were. They're already writing the script for Spider-Man 4. But to me, it was great. I love seeing Andrew Garfield be able to come back. The way they did him, to me, was dirty. I think Sony did a horrible job. Like, he didn't even know they weren't doing an Amazing Spider-Man 3 until they announced Homecoming with a different actor. Like, that's kind of garbage on Sony's part. So bringing him back, and then now, like, online, all the fans are wanting the Amazing Spider-Man 3. Like, they're requesting, and, like, all the critics are like, hey, this might actually happen. And so if they do it, I will see it just as a thank you. I just really hope they don't do like they did the first two, because the first two really weren't that great. The first Amazing Spider-Man films were not that great. But I liked Andrew Garfield, okay? I thought he did a great job, fine job. In this movie, the chemistry between Tobey Maguire seemed tired the whole time. That's the only thing. It was like,
I'm just collecting a paycheck.
I don't think he wanted to do it, to be honest. I really don't think he wanted to. I'm glad he did, just for the fan service. I was really surprised. I'm not going to give all the spoilers, but there was a death in there that I was very, very surprised to see. I don't know why it shocked me so much, but it happened. And the other weird thing about this is there's no new villains that come to the table. They're all old villains. So Green Goblin is essentially the main villain of the film. So that was interesting enough. And I was thinking, we had a fantastic movie, in my opinion, that didn't introduce any new villains at all. How does that happen?
Well,
I mean, Endgame.
Except for the villains were supreme actors anyway. So, or at least two, three of them definitely were. So, but the thing is that it comes across as like Rise of Skywalker. It is a fan service film. So if you were wanting something like legit, no. If you're just a geek and you were like looking for the payout, this is your payout film. But
if you were not a fan of the original Spider-Man films, the first two, you're not going to get as much from it.
And here's what I want to know. Was there a scene after the credits? Do I wait until after the credits?
There's two.
Well,
two.
Okay, there's one. But then at the very end, you pretty much get a Doctor Strange teaser trailer, which is not available on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to stay to see that at the very, very end of the credits, because you can look it up on YouTube right now. It's Doctor Strange 2, Madness of Multiverse of Madness teaser trailer.
Okay.
So, I mean...
And honestly, again, that's probably one of the biggest things that bugged me the most about this movie.
That teaser trailer?
No, is when he did the whole Mirrorverse thing.
Oh.
I hated it in his movie. I don't like it again.
It's unrealistic.
He's not a Doctor Strange fan.
Well, I mean, I like Doctor Strange. Okay, I don't care for the Mirrorverse thing. It's like it's just far too much. I don't know. Maybe
I'd say as far as
Doctor Strange is the whole thing is just weird.
Yeah,
like it was really cool. Like the movie was really cool. Doctor Strange was really cool, but just like their abilities, I don't know. I don't know that it fits in with everybody else's skills.
Well, the Multiverse of Madness is going to be. It's not going to bring.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, it's not going to bring a whole bunch of fans in it, because it's very. I mean, not witchcraft in like the occult necessarily. It's still comic booky witchcraft,
Scarlet
but
Witch.
yeah, I mean it's comic book witchcraft. But I think you really got to be a Doctor Strange fan, and you got to be a fan of weird things to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm a fan of weird things. I mean, hang out with you.
Not Shawn weird things or Jason weird things. Anyway,
let's
I liked
move
it.
on.
Shawn thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Move on.
All right. Well, also releasing today was The Matrix Resurrections. I did actually get up and watch it this morning.
Okay.
You didn't get a chance to see it, right?
I've seen 30 minutes, and I'm going to have to push through the rest of it.
Yeah. Hey, have you seen it?
I have not, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I would say this. If you're a fan of The Matrix, then you'll probably enjoy it just because it's The Matrix.
Yeah.
I like the spin in this. I won't give anything away. But there's a nice twist in this, and there's even a little bit of a knock on some parent company stuff that goes on in there.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. But yeah, there's really nothing like truly new. There, at the end, we get a what seems to be a PC, so a politically correctness move within the film, and I'll just leave it at that because otherwise I'm going to spoil stuff. But it feels.
Is it
PC.
going to make me regret watching it?
It depends on how much you hate feminism. I'm joking.
It depends on how much you hate political correctness. Because the film does good all the way up until the end, and then it feels forced. Like, I don't mind if it's just like there because that's just kind of what there is. But when it feels forced, Captain Marvel, the end of this, just don't shove it down my throat, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And don't make. Yeah, anyway, we've discussed all that stuff before. So, definitely, if you've got HBO, watch it. Going to see it in the movie theater, if you don't mind spending the money, go for it because it's an action film, but I wouldn't otherwise recommend going to see it in the theater.
I'm taking my wife to go see Spider-Man again tomorrow.
Well, good for you.
I would much rather spend my money on that.
I would much rather spend my money on... Oh, I've already spent my money on this. Watching the entire Hawkeye series all over again.
It was I think the finale. Spoilers, everybody. Spoilers for the Hawkeye show. Kevin, you hadn't watched it, so it's kind of your fault if you get spoilers.
I like
so.
to work. I don't ever watch TV.
Yeah, Kingpin. Dude, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Done.
He is Kingpin.
Done.
He is.
Done.
So he comes back in it. So we had Charlie Cox was given to us in Spider-Man No Way Home for Daredevil.
Yeah.
But right before that, like a day before that,
Wait,
literally.
that was the Netflix Daredevil?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have watched the Daredevil series. He was pretty good.
He is coming back to the MCU.
Nice.
Technically, the Netflix universe existed in the MCU universe.
Yeah.
Technically. They just didn't cross over. But the day before that last Wednesday, a week ago today, they showed Wilson Fisk in the Hawkeye episode. At the very end, it was like a little end snippet. And then the next day, we get Charlie Cox as Daredevil, which I thought Marvel did a beautiful job doing that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So beautifully done.
Definitely done.
And then this week, we get full-on Wilson Fisk, like, I would say even more powerful than he was in Daredevil.
Definitely more powerful than he was in Daredevil, but definitely true to the comic book Kingpin.
Even the outfit.
Yeah. From outfit to skills and everything, it was spot on. I think that probably the other part that excites me the most about making sure that they've had the Netflix series Daredevil cast coming into this is that we're going to get John Bernthal as the Punisher.
It's going to be so good.
You got to because he's already talked about it. Feige's already talked about it. So with him already successfully doing that with Daredevil, it's going to happen. It's got to happen. So, the final episode of Hawkeye was not as good as it could have been.
It was mostly action. There wasn't a lot of story.
Yeah, there were some weak areas in there too that just didn't feel like it pulled off quite as well. I will say this though, I totally respect, and I may be biased on this. So the whole series, there's a lot of sign language, and of course Echo is truly a deaf actress as well as amputee as well as Native American. So big props from me to Marvel on that front / Disney, but the cast signing. So we even get Wilson Fisk who ends up signing as well.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but it shows respect, and it at least to some degree. And so I really appreciated that about it all.
I love the fact, and this is something that drives me crazy. Anytime you have a deaf character in a film or TV show, if you've been around deaf people, deaf culture, you understand where they're messing it up. One of the things I loved is Wilson Fisk is in her face. As he's talking to her, she's looking over at the person signing for him.
Yeah.
And I noticed that in the show, and I was like, they got it right.
Yeah.
And it's things like that. I mean, anybody who hasn't been around deaf culture is not really going to think about that when you're watching, because it's kind of an intense scene, somewhat intense. So he's right in her face, and I don't know if that was it was supposed to be a loving way. But he's signing, and so she's looking over at the interpreter at the time. So that was cool. I appreciated that. And even whenever in Hawkeye, in the previous episode, whenever he signed boss, he did the B-O, and instead of doing like S-S, he did the S-S.
Slide.
The slide. Which is very ASL,
advanced.
where like for me, it'd be like SS, even with my parents. So I appreciated the fact that they included real American Sign Language communication in the show. Where in a lot of other cases, they really mess up whenever you have situations like that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, and obviously with her being deaf, she can feed a lot of that information into the show, which is cool.
Cool. But again, I'm much more of a fan of the superheroes that aren't super empowered.
Yeah.
So having Hawkeye, having Daredevil, having Punisher coming through, love to see that.
Iron Man, he's not super powered.
Yeah.
He has a lot of money.
That's Batman. That's Batman.
That's the money's kind of its own superpower.
I
feel you.
buy a lot
I
of
feel you.
stuff.
I did like. I'll say this too. So one thing that was weird is they tried to end way too many arcs in this one episode.
Yeah.
And the rushing, it just felt too rushed. So rushing Echo into her show, it was like you didn't get a whole lot of her in the show.
Right.
So you get just enough to boom. Okay, now she's ready for a show.
But I think that's okay though, because it again, her show needs to be about her, and that's where we're going to get all the extra.
Yeah.
So there was enough background to know where she's been, how she's come up, and why she's going in the direction she's going in. So.
But is she like a major player? Echo.
They're making her a major player.
Nice.
She's going to have her own show.
Yeah.
Major player.
So yeah.
But in the comics, I mean, enough of a regular to be there, but really still just an underling of Kingpin.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I liked the treatment of Kingpin. I didn't like what they did with Kate's mom. It was just, I mean, not the whole her going to jail, but just, I don't know. Everybody had these theories of who she was, what she did.
Right.
I was hoping they'd make her like Madame Mask. I just thought it'd be interesting to make her be a villain from the comics.
Right.
But they didn't do that.
And the swordsman not really being the swordsman.
I liked this character. Like, to me, this was my favorite episode with him.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I mean, it was okay. It's just that it didn't pay out the way that we were hoping for it.
So
to be,
the whole series kind of builds up to him being this secret villain type person. Sneaky guy making deals and this, that, and the other.
And he's really just a aloof goofball.
Yeah, at the very end of the episode, he's got a sword and he's like, I have no idea what's going on, but this is fun. I'm just ching, 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 ching. So I kind of liked it. I think it really goes along with the rest of the show. It's like low key. It's self-contained. There's not a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on. And so I kind of like that about it. I mean, not that the show was aloof, but
I will say this though, my daughter and I, as we're watching Spider-Man, of course it takes place in New York. We were looking for the tree down at what's it called?
Same tree.
What's it called? What's that
Madison
area?
Square Garden?
No, it's not Madison Square. The big tree in New York that everybody talks about going to see. It's Rockefeller Center.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so in Hawkeye, it gets knocked down. Mm-hmm. We'll just leave it at that. It gets knocked down. So we were looking in Spider-Man when they started getting into that area. It's like, ooh, is it going to be knocked down? Because that'd be really cool.
He swung before that.
Yeah, so. yeah. And that's why I told her, that's. Anyway, Hawkeye, man, I definitely, if you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. It's definitely worth it. So
even though we gave you spoilers, that's fine.
Yeah, and we didn't give you all the spoilers. There's still some other stuff in there. So
yeah, man. So did you want to go to the next news segment or?
Well, you got.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I just figured I'd end with that last one.
Okay.
Just
so real quick,
announcement.
or it could drag on, but kind of real quick. So Devon Franklin. He's done a lot of production for Christian stuff. He did the Nativity Story, I think. It was an animated film that came out maybe 2 years ago, I think, or last year. Mm-hmm. He's married to a kind of a star that's known, Megan Good, and they're getting a divorce after 9 years of marriage. This is what they say. They say there's no one at fault. We believe this is the next best chapter in the evolution of our love.
What?
Now I know a friend of mine.
Horse hockey.
A friend of mine in the group chat who well, she didn't share it. A friend shared it. She was she was talking about just us having bad Christian celebrities in the spotlight because now there's assumptions that that Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry, who were kind of respected Christians in popular Christianity world, in the mainstream as well, people are speculating they may be in an open relationship. But I was just thinking, with this story, I was like, man, I don't know if it's good or bad to have Christians in the spotlight. I still don't know if it goes back to president. I don't know if I ever want a president up there saying he's a Christian. I just don't know if I want that. Whether he is or not, I don't know if
going to pick him apart.
I don't want him holding the flag for us because he's going to make mistakes. He's going to screw up. And
like we all
do.
do.
It's just going to happen. We are going to screw up. So, it just made me think even more. I really wish, we didn't hold Christians to this pedestal whenever they start getting some notoriety. Because when they fall that much harder. And they tried to make it as smooth as possible. They tried to make it sound elegant. So I guess it didn't look bad for the church or for Christians or Jesus or whatever. I don't know. But, they try to make it sound smooth. But it's just
you can't do that enough.
No, I mean, it's just, by God's grace, we're going to get through this divorce.
What?
I've heard people say weird things like that. So anyway, man, I thought it was interesting. It just had me thinking about the fact that we don't need more. And this is something that was said in a Christian rap song by Braille. He said, we don't need more superstars. We need more gospel-centered churches. We always want superstars out in the spotlight, leading the way for Christians. And then they screw up and we're like, nope, somebody else getting somebody else. It's like the birds that fly in the air. The front one gets hurt and you got to get somebody else up there. I don't know if we need... As much as I want to influence the world with Christian values, at the same time, it can be detrimental to the church, the view of the church.
Yeah, you don't have to do it in Hollywood.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, man.
All right. Last thing in the regular news. Don't forget, Book of Boba. December 29th. It's right around the corner.
Absolutely. Was that a Friday, right?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just thinking, it is a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. So I guess they went from Friday releases to Wednesday releases. Interesting. I wonder why they did that.
I don't know, but it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm ready for it. So are we going to do a review episode that night? We're going to have to, man. We're going to get some folks on board.
Yeah.
We're going to get Hector from Faith and Fandom and Brinson. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So look forward to our review for Book of Boba.
Yeah, man.
Boba.
So music news. Project 86. We've been talking about their last project. They're still trying to finish out getting the funding for it. They've got lots of cool stuff going on. But probably what really caught my interest the most is that they've announced a double vinyl release. So this will be a special pre-order of the last album, which is still unnamed, as well as an EP album, which is actually a full-length album of 2 EPs, the Brutality EP and the Digital EP. And that's what they're called, Digital EP. So if you're into vinyl, you're into Christian metal, you love Project 86, I think this is probably the best thing that they've had to be able to offer out. So, also, speaking of Christian metal, Brutality, we're definitely big supporters of Brutality. We love those guys. Very talented young men. And but anyway, they dropped a new single called Nosedive. Definitely worth checking out. I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favorite track that they've ever dropped, but you can definitely see some extra maturity happening within their music, and definitely liking it though, just the same. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out as soon as we wrap up the show today.
All right.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's it for the news. We will be back with another segment. Please stay tuned.